On this platform I have answered almost every query which has been posted, and so many of you keep asking me this question, and probably I thought maybe because the question itself has such a huge appeal, it is better to talk about it in a video. And the question has two aspects to it. I did this poll and I asked this question: which company and profile has the highest probability of going overseas? And I gave three options: Indian IT companies, which means TCS, Infosys, Wipro, HCL, or non Indian IT companies like Accenture, Capgemini, DXC, Atos, SAP, or Cognizant. Then you have non-IT companies altogether. That means captive centers like the banks has in India. The banks have in India, for example, Citi, Barclays, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley. If you talk about some other sectors like telecom, probably British Telecom, you have Vodafone, then you have, for example, what else name, probably I am forgetting, AT&T, Verizon, Airtel. Sorry, Airtel is an Indian company. So these are big names which operate from India. So they act as their technical competency work from India here. There is a clear divide between Indian IT companies and non-Indian IT companies, and it appears that people are confused. Though right now the poll suggests the higher percentage goes to the non-Indian IT companies like Accenture and Capgemini, but it's not too big a difference, so it can anytime match. So going overseas is a factor, is combination of multiple factors, and these includes your profile, your skill, your client requirement, your eligibility. For example, if you have joined the company just newly, probably you would not be eligible for an overseas location. Then because there are people already sitting and waiting on the fences for long, then available visas or the quotas one country can have, then there are many companies lined up for the same quota. That is another factor. Then if we talk about human side of it, probably some of the chemistry you have with your team, your management, that's important. Then there is bit of politics, as human side also has some of politics. For example, how what is your rapport with your manager or your senior management, that's also important. And how many people are ahead of you, how this prioritization works. So that is bit of what I'm talking about. Now, let's analyze this bit further, and which companies might send you overseas, or where you have higher probability of going overseas. So, I have made four categories, and at the end of it, I'll give you the right order in terms of highest probability to least probability. So, I'll give you that order, but let's understand and dig it down a bit more. So, the first category is Indian IT companies, likes of Infosys, TCS, or HCL or Wipro, Mindtree, L&T Infotech, all these companies, alongside smaller companies. Now think of it the way they work. Around 85 to 90% of their workforce, skilled workforce, is in offshore locations. And whenever you have a client request, they send it to the offshore location. So what are the 10% people who are located in overseas locations? So these people are probably the people from marketing, salesmen, the engagement managers. These don't require huge, these people don't require a huge setup. So along with that, probably one or two people from every segment. So small teams, covering large geographies, that works for the Indian IT companies, because they have huge workforce available, very cheap in India. So all the work comes from here. Sometimes, probably, if a customer needs a dedicated team, they keep a small team in these respective locations. Now, let's move to the other category, which is non-Indian IT companies like Accenture, Capgemini, or Cognizant, DXC. Accenture, if you saw my few past few videos, you would have realized it has a huge presence outside India. So about 40% workforce is based out of India, and the rest 60% is based out of various locations like Philippines. Then if you go to US, they have good presence. Then if you go to Europe, they have very good presence, about 15% US and Europe, around 15-20% in Philippines. So that's a good percentage for any company to have at a one location. Maybe 10 to 15% portion of their workforce at one location is a good presence, significant presence. Now, in that kind of well distributed mechanism, you have all the teams taking care of their respective BUs, respective clients from their native locations. They don't need to send all the work to India. To improve margins, maybe they would be doing that thing also. So but what they do is typically couple of people from their overseas locations take care of the client engagement and everything. Then the work gets done from the offshore location by their respective teams. In that case, maybe you don't need people in overseas locations altogether. That is true for Capgemini as well as Accenture. Why? Because Capgemini has the same presence everywhere around the world: Europe, US, UK. In all major geographies, they are well represented. That makes the that brings your chances little down comparatively, because there are other candidates probably taking already good care of their native locations, and the work is done by those people mostly in an offshore model. Then if you have company like Cognizant, so Cognizant by name or by origin probably is a US based company, but it behaves like an Indian company. So around 80% of their workforce, 75-80%, is based out of India. That makes them identical to Indian companies. So likely, probably you might get higher chances in Cognizant compared to Capgemini and Accenture. Then you have companies like DXC, IBM, or many Atos and SAP. So I don't think there are you wouldn't get you would get a lot of chances in these companies as well. Other segment comes is companies like the captive centers, who have opened captive centers in India. For example, Barclay, all investment firms are available in India. And then then you have what we call it, telecom companies, or major all major big brands are available in India. Okay, so these companies don't need anybody to visit overseas. For short visits, maybe you might go and stay there for a couple of weeks, but beyond that there is no possibility. Then after that there is another category, let's say Bharti Airtel, something like Indian origin companies but non IT companies like Bharti Airtel, Flipkart, Paytm, some names like that. They don't require you to go overseas. So if I give you the order now, the first is Indian IT companies has the highest probability of sending you overseas in Indian IT companies, in fact. And in overseas companies you have bit lesser, but again their resource pool is also smaller in India. If you disagree with my analysis, please don't forget to point that out with your own logic. Maybe when I speak about this subject in future, I would like to incorporate your views also. Now, we move to the profiles. What are the profiles which are in demand on these overseas opportunities? Marketing, sales, probably these are the candidate profiles or ideal profile which keep going from one place to other, and you won't be you would believe it, so I will not explain it. Then comes the leadership profile, VP. So they go anytime when there is a demand, probably some attending some events, anything. So we exclude these profiles. Okay, so leadership hiring can take place overseas also. So I'm assuming that in offshore location, if you are into leadership, you can go anytime on a short visit. Permanently you are not required normally. Okay, then you have, for example, senior profiles like architects. So I would exclude Senior managers, they can go on short visits, that's not a problem. But from technical point of view, architects, I think, can attend the technical events, town halls. They can also closely work on branding, marketing, on showcasing their technical competencies, demonstration, right? So they can go overseas for smaller trips. Also, if some architects are working on projects, probably customer want to engage with them closely, so they get an opportunity. Also, they command good respect, that's why probably they get a better shot at it. That's on architects. Then we move forward to project managers. On smaller visits they can go, otherwise project managers are not needed. Probably sometimes, like during sign off of UAT, they can go to meet customer. On few occasions they can go, but these will be small visits. Then we have one very important category: business analyst, consultant, product manager, or product owners, right? These people work very closely with the customer, and these people might get opportunity to visit customers. Again, they don't need to be there all the time for a big duration. They can be there for short duration, for example during project requirement analysis, and then during your UATs and project acceptance stage. Now, programmers. So programmers work from the offshore location, and programmers are not really needed in overseas location, because your client engagement team is different. You have managers, architects, then you have BAs who take care of the client engagement. Now, maybe you will be shocked to hear the next thing, next profile, which is very fit for these overseas location, is the QA or the testers, right? So I know programmers will be very disappointed to hear that, but testers or the quality assurance team will be very happy to know that. So testing team works very closely with the end customer during the UAT stage. Also, because they keep giving the demonstrations after every build, after every release, probably they get to work more closely with the customer. In that case, many of the times customer want these people in their respective locations or close to their locations. That's why, if you have seen, probably the testing profiles, I think about 5-10 years ago, every third person, every second person was a testing profile in overseas locations. That was a big thing at that time. Now, because of the COVID and all these changes, things have changed a bit, but I'm pretty sure testers are still in demand in overseas locations. Okay. Now, other profile is scrum masters. I think scrum masters are not really required. So now you understand what are the profiles are in demand. If I missed some profiles, probably do not forget to point me out, but I might respond to you on the comment itself. I will come up with another video very soon, and if you disagree with these sharings, do not forget to point them in the comment box. I'll try to address them separately, one on one. Thank you.